Hey guys, it's Nicole. Just checking in, see how you guys are doing. Also, at the beginning of this process, I had talked about having my husband do some videos of what it was like to go through the process with somebody who has had weight loss surgery. I had the VSG surgery in April, and he's just going to give you guys an update, hit on a couple of points of pros and cons and what it's like to have a VSG patient as a wife. So here he is. You guys give him a warm welcome. This is Tyler.
Hello, my name's Tyler. And like Nicole said, I meant to do this video 10 months ago, but I don't know, just kept putting it off and everything, but finally decided to do it today. Kind of a spouse's perspective of what it's like going through the surgery. Nicole's making me laugh in the background. So, anyway, if you are a spouse of someone that's considering doing this and you're watching this, then you're already to the point of researching it. And I think that's very important. For those that are watching this that haven't told their spouse yet or anything, there's a good chance that they'll respond in, maybe one of three ways. Maybe, I guess, four ways. One, they could be all four right off the bat. But more than likely, they're going to be skeptical about it in one way or another. The common thing is just kind of be, nervous or scared about it because it is surgery. You're having surgery. You're getting, cut. And there's always possibility of something going wrong there. So oftentimes, there's some fear there that your spouse may have. Also, they may think, that's too expensive. And a lot of people out there consider it to be cheating to have the surgery. So if you tell your spouse that you're about to have the surgery, you may, hear one of those things. And for the spouses that are already watching this, you may have those same thoughts, but having been through it for 10 months now, it's a very safe surgery, a very low rate of problems, and any problems are generally ones that can be fixed, before you even leave the clinic or hospital. And it's definitely not cheating. One thing I'll touch on more here in a minute is that a lot of people think that the surgery is some sort of magic potion that you get the surgery and then you can do whatever you want. You can eat whatever you want and live your life just like you did before. And that's just not true. It's not true at all. And like I said, I'll touch on more on that in a minute. But you may think that way yourself, that or your spouse may think that I'm going to get this surgery and everything will be the same like it was before. And it's not. If you treat it as such, then you probably in the long run won't succeed in what you're trying to do. So as a spouse, when you hear that your wife or husband is considering this, you should be open-minded. Even if you think one of those things, be open about it. And one is research. Do a lot of research. Nicole, which she's touched on in earlier videos, did a ton of research. YouTube is a big-time thing. You can watch what people have gone through before. And also, research the surgery itself, what the steps are, what the recovery time, what they actually do in there, and, the possible complications. Research that itself. Look at the after effects. What is it going to be like going forward, and then also research a clinic. We went to Weightwise in Edmond, Oklahoma, and if you live in Oklahoma City or the Oklahoma area, that's what I would recommend. And if you live outside of if you're watching this from another state, find a clinic that has a good program, a good support system. I think there's a lot of clinics out there that you go in, get the surgery, and then you never talk or hear from them again. And I think that's a recipe for disaster. You want something that'll keep in touch with you, will keep you going, and all that sort of thing. And weight-wise, they have a psychologist that you talk to before you even start, see if where if your mind's in the right place. They have a dietitian that you can talk to. Including the price. You can talk to the dietitian anytime you want, and they always answer the phone. The exercise people, nurses, it's easy to talk to the doctors. So anytime you have a problem, it's easy to talk to them. And they have a meal plan set up, a specific diet that if you follow it, you'll succeed. So research all that stuff. And when you do, you become a lot more comfortable with the idea of the surgery. Nicole watched months of videos, and we looked at different clinic websites and different descriptions of surgeries and stuff, and finally came to the decision to do it, and we've been happy with it. So research and be prepared for what's about to happen after, because this, like I said, it's not a magic elixir or something. Life is going to change. It has to change. Your spouse is going to start eating differently, and you as a spouse, to ensure success, you need to support your spouse fully. And it's not, and I think it's not just, hey, you can do it, you're doing a good job. Not just that. It's actually showing it. So, especially the first couple of months, the temptation is high to keep eating the old stuff. But weight-wise, you can't eat bread or pasta or anything like that, and of course, no junk food. And the best thing I found is that you just got to get it out of the house. Because if your spouse who just had the surgery, if that stuff is easily accessible, then the temptation will be very high to eat the things that they're not supposed to eat. So don't even have it in the house. And then you as the spouse, make a change yourself and just, cut back and just stop eating those things, and especially don't eat it in front of them. If you like, some sort of candy bar or candy, just, keep it out of the house. You go to work, you eat it. You eat lunch at work. You go to an Italian restaurant or something or whatever, but you just keep it out of the house. Because if it's not there, it makes it that much easier to stick with the plan and stick with what you're trying to do. And over time, for the person that has a surgery, my wife, it became easier to overcome those temptations. The temptations were less. Those foods become less enticing. One, a lot of those foods you eat, you try to eat them, it hurts. It literally hurts her stomach. So, you don't want to do that. So, and you get out of that habit of eating that type of food. So over time it becomes easier. So over time you can start having things back in the house you had before. Like for several months we didn't have any bread in the house, and now we do, because she doesn't really tempted to eat a sandwich anymore, or not near like it was the first few weeks after surgery. But still, it's a good idea to keep the vast majority of that stuff out. It makes it just a lot easier. And also after a little while, we started where we kind of ate separate meals, where Nicole would have her stuff, and then myself and my daughter would have something else. And we did that for a little while, and really that doesn't work very well either, because you end up eating in separate places, and that could create bitterness and all sorts of stuff. So what we've done now is Nicole's found all sorts of recipes. She's recorded herself making a few of them, and as a spouse, try these things, because they're actually very good. And then you can eat together. It makes it much easier for her, not having to deal with trying to make two things, or me trying to make something that doesn't turn out very good most of the time. So that's a great way to support them, by just eating the same food they're eating. Make a change yourself, because even if you're someone that has never struggled with weight, like I never have, but still eating junk food is still unhealthy, and it's still going to hurt me physically, even if it's not through weight gain or something like that. So I think that's just the biggest thing, is the way to support is just eat the same foods, eat the fruits, eat the vegetables, keep that stuff out of the house. And if you find you just absolutely have to have something, you do it when you're at work or out of the house. Don't if it's after a month or actually a couple of weeks, and your spouse comes in, you're sitting on the couch eating Doritos and ice cream and a cheeseburger and whatnot, that's going to be very hard for them to succeed. So it's best just to keep it out of the house, just to keep it away. Because if you're going to go through a surgery that costs a lot of money, you want to make it work. So you need to take the steps to ensure its success. Because again, if you have that stuff and you keep cheating and the spouse keeps cheating, it's going to lose weight at first, but eventually all that weight's going to come back. And then they're going to feel even worse about themselves than they may have felt before. And, just not a good scenario. So the easiest thing is just to keep the stuff out of the house. Just, make a change yourself. That's would be good for you. And then another thing, it's kind of part of your job, I think, to help hold them accountable. Now, you've got to be careful how you do that. You got to do it, with love and kindness and that sort of thing. So if they're feeling tempted and I want to eat this, don't say, well, don't eat that. It's stupid. It's dumb if you eat that. Don't do that. Just say, hey, you don't need that. You can do it. Just be very supportive and you can even remind them about what their goals are. If you do, you're going to feel bad about yourself in the morning, and also it's going to hurt you right after you eat it. If anyone out there likes drinks pop and you're about to have a surgery, don't drink it after, because that carbonation will hurt really bad. So I guess that's the main thing, is to support, is just to just go along for the ride. Do the same type of diet, because the food is really pretty good, and it'll help you be healthy as well. And then if your spouse is able to do the exercises and stuff, do the exercises with them. Nicole's been doing a plank challenge, and even though I have noodle arms and weak upper body, I've been doing it with her as well, and I think that just helps keep everything going. So I think that's about it for now. Just support them. Once you've made that decision, then just create an environment where success is, 100% possible.
How it has influenced our relationship or changed me, or if it's had an effect on the relationship.
I'm getting instructions here.
Just trying to bring up topics that other people pending weight loss surgery have asked about.
Well, she said something about changing relationships, and
a lot of people say that it has a negative effect on relationships, or how my attitude has changed on things, or if you feel like it's affected our relationship at all.
Well, I think for us, I don't think it's affected in any way. I think if you have a strong marriage going in, then it's not going to change anything. If you have a rough marriage where you're arguing all the time, this could cause problems, just like anything's going to cause problems. Because this is a big change. It's a big change because food's a big part of life, and you're suddenly changing everything, and so that can create some stress. But I think in our situation that it hasn't been any, because I think it's when you're starting, that's the part about the research, to knowing what's coming, to know that, hey, there's going to have to be a change made. Hey, we're going to have to get rid of this food. She's going to be eating less. She's going to have a timer, timing her bites and all this stuff. When you know that's coming, then there's no issue. Yeah, you're eating it well. She said food bill goes down, grocery bill goes up because health food costs more. But we don't eat out near as much, so it kind of balances out in that way. But I think for us, our relationship hasn't changed. I think that's just how it is before could be strengthened or lessened. So, another thing is important to be supportive, because there's a good chance there's going to be a lot of other people in your family or friends that are going to be negative. They're not going to be open-minded about it. They're not going to do all the research to find out things, and they're going to be very critical towards you every step of the way. And as a spouse, try to draw their attention away from that to the positive things you're saying and the positive environment you're trying to create in your home. Any other prompts?
Well, any changes that you've made to help me get through it, or
Well, I think that's what I'm just saying about getting the food out of the house.
well, like you've put aside things, your preference on taste, such as sugar-free popsicles, or
Yeah. Before, I guess that's true. Before this, I wouldn't, never eat anything sugar-free. Any sweetener, I didn't like it. And now I've eaten, I've gotten to where I eat sugar-free popsicles and some things like that I've, I guess expanded my culinary horizons to include foods I wouldn't eat before because those are the things she can eat. So again, to be supportive and help her succeed, say, hey, I'm going to try this, and I'm going to keep trying it, and it's not too bad. Some stuff, still not very good, but every recipe she's found has been very good. And, like if your spouse says, hey, I found a recipe for carbless pizza, crust made out of cream cheese and Parmesan cheese, don't just say, ugh, I don't eat that crap. That's that could create bitterness and all sorts of problems. Say, hey, I'll try that, and then, you'd be surprised. It's pretty good. And anything else?
any cons that you can think of?
Any cons? I'm a cheapskate, so I'd say price, but
Well, healthy foods are more
well, like I said,
expensive.
healthy food's more expensive, but if you eat out a lot, you're going to eat out a lot less, so it kind of balances out. And when you do eat out, instead of my wife getting a big steak or something, she's going to get something off the kids' meal, so it's going to be a lot cheaper. So I mean, and it makes also medical bills. She was when you watch these videos, she was diabetic and had high blood pressure, and those things are gone. So it can clear up a lot of medical bills, which saves money.
And just setting good examples for our daughter and ways that's changed.
Going back to just help set an example for our 9-year-old daughter that there's different kinds of food, and not all of them are good for you, and it doesn't hurt anyone to eat healthy stuff, to eat the fruits and vegetables instead of the candy bars and potato chips all the time and that sort of thing. So help her to see that there's a different way to eat, and ultimately, when you can feel better physically when you eat the good stuff. You eat several candy bars and a big burger and stuff. After that, you're like, about dead and tired and all this, and then you eat some of the other stuff and you feel better physically yourself. Any more? I guess that's all for now. I guess you can put comments on these if you have any questions about anything specific that, from a spouse's perspective. But again, just be as supportive as you can be by participating with them. You can sit back and do your own thing and just, give a compliment every now and again, but that's going to make success harder to come by, because this is hard. This is a lot of hard work. Changing 28 years of eating habits is not easy. You can't do it overnight. You have to build up to it. So, lower the means of temptation, making them go away, and it makes it a lot easier, and then they'll get to a point of overcoming all of it a lot faster. So I guess that's it for now. This is kind of a tag team video, Nicole from behind the scenes. And all right, we'll see you later.